Good morning, students, and welcome back. Happy Monday to you. We are starting our second week of online learning. I hope your first week went real well. I appreciate all the assignments that I saw coming in and all the hard work you've been doing. So good job. Give yourself a hand. Parents, give yourself a hand too. If you're listening, great job helping your student out to get the technology working. Now, our lesson for today is measurement. Okay, measurement is an important part of our lives. Customary units of measurement. Now, that's in kind of an odd word, customary. All that really means in a short definition is the way we measure in the United States. Okay, and the United States is unique to the rest of the world. The rest of the world uses the metric system. Okay, and we'll talk about the metric system at a later time, but today we're talking about the customary units of measurement, and those are the measurements that you're probably familiar with. Okay, and I'm going to give you a few little hand notations and things around your body to remember these measurements also. All right, so let's start. First is the inch. Now, what I always say is this little part on your finger from the tip of your thumb to your first knuckle is approximately an inch, about an inch. Now, mine, if you look at this ruler, mine is a little bigger than an inch, okay? But I am a full-grown human, okay? So yours will probably be closer to an inch than mine. So mine's a little bigger than an inch, but that helps me out a lot. One time I was in Home Depot, I didn't have a tape measure. I needed to get a certain size of nail. I knew it had to be a 3-inch nail. So because I didn't carry a tape measure on me, one like this, okay, I didn't have that with me, and I just used my finger and I looked at the nails and I went 1, 2, 3. There's a 3-inch nail. Okay, and I knew what nail to get using only my finger, and I picked out the right nail. So it saved me a trip, it saved me running home or asking one of the associates a question, which one was the 3-inch nail. I could just answer the question myself. So that's our smallest unit of measurement, okay, is an inch, okay? And again, use your finger and you can get an inch. The next unit we're going to use is a foot. Okay, now, if we're in our classroom, if you look down on the floor, our little tiles in our school, they're exactly 1 foot. Okay, or this ruler is exactly 1 foot. Okay, and that's the normal ruler that you have at school. It was probably in your pencil bag. Maybe you have it at home now. Okay, that is 1 foot. Okay, the way I tell you on your body to remember that is from this little bone in your wrist right here, this little bone that's usually sticking out of your wrist. Most of us have it sticking out right here. So if you measure from that to the elbow, okay, that is approximately 1 foot. Not exactly, but it's really close. So if you look at mine, I'm going to put it at 1, and mine is almost exactly 1 foot. Okay, so that little bone in your arm, and you can try this if you have this foot ruler at home. Okay, from the bone in your wrist down to your elbow, 1 foot. Okay. Then we have a yard. Okay. One of the most common things we use a yardstick for is measuring on a football field. A football field is measured in yards. Okay. And most of you, if you're football fans, know that a football field is how many yards? Yes, 100 yards. Yep, 100 yards is a football field. Now, this is a yardstick. This is 1 yard. 1 yard, okay? Now, the way I tell students to remember a yard is if you, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but if you stick out your finger, I'll try to get in the camera shot. If you stick out your finger, just hold your hand out like this, and you put the yardstick at the end of your finger to the tip of your nose. To the tip of your nose. Sorry, I can't hold that up there. There we go. Okay, there we go. And my arm is totally stretched out, and it reaches exactly 1 yard. Okay, so if you have a yardstick like this, if your parents get you a yardstick like this at home, try that. Take the tip of your finger and stretch out your arm as far as you can, and it should reach the tip of your nose. That's approximately a yard. Now, remember, I am a grown adult. Okay, yours might not quite be like that because you are only 10 years old or 9 years old. Okay, have your parents try it. Have your dad try that. Have him put the ruler on his finger and then try that to the tip of his nose. Okay, or have your mom try it. See if it works for them. It should be approximately 1 yard. Okay, so that's the third type of measurement we're going to be dealing with. The fourth is 1 mile. 1 mile. The best way to describe that is if you know what a track looks like at Haltom High or Richland High, okay, or any track and field track where the runners run, okay, if you go 4 times around that, that is 1 mile. Okay, yeah, 4 times around the track is 1 mile. Okay, another way to think of it, if you think of where our school is located, okay, and think in your mind where our school is located, and if you drive from our school down to where the Kroger used to be, I know it's closed down now. I was just by it the other day and I saw it's all shut down. But where the old Kroger used to be, that is approximately 1 mile. It's really close to a mile. Okay, so think of how far that is from our school down to the end of the block by Denton Highway, where that Kroger used to be, and that is approximately a mile, okay, or 4 times around the track, okay? All right, so those are our 4 measurements, and hopefully you're all familiar with those, okay? Being 4th graders, you've probably dealt with those sometime in your life. Now, I want to show you some examples of what around your house could be an inch. Okay, so I have a coin that is approximately an inch. Okay, that coin is approximately an inch. Okay, one of my son's little figures here, it's a little football player. Okay, if you lay them sideways, they are approximately an inch. I think I have that right. Okay, approximately an inch. And one thing I want to tell you, always start at the end of the ruler. Don't start at 1. Some people think you start measuring at 1. No, you don't start at 1. You start at 0, which is the end of the ruler. It doesn't have a 0 there, but you always start at the end of the ruler. Okay, so that little figure is 1 inch. Okay, things that are approximately a foot. I have this empty box of cereal. Okay, that's approximately a foot. Okay, not exactly a foot, but approximately a foot. Okay, here's some new tennis shoes that I haven't worn yet. This is my probably my school shoe for next year. Okay, and if you look at that, if you measure the bottom of that, that is almost from end to end, it's approximately 1 foot. Okay. And then again, you have your miles. Okay, again, 4 times around the track is a mile, and from our school to where the Kroger used to be, that's approximately a mile. All right, now let's think of how these are connected. Okay, these are connected in many different ways, but one way they're connected, if you have how many inches make up a foot. So how many of these little guys could make up one of these? Okay, so how many inches, or how many times could you make this little inch to equal this ruler? Okay, all right, think about that. Hopefully you have a guess. All right, was your guess 12? If it was, you are correct. Because if you notice, when I held up this ruler, it is numbered from 1 to 12. Okay, because there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so 1 foot equals 12 inches. All right, then you have a yard. Here's your yard. Here's your yardstick. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, there's your yardstick. How many feet, here's a foot, how many feet are going to be in a yard? How many do you think? How many feet do you think are going to fit in this yard? All right, take a guess. All right, good. I think some of you know it. Yeah, there's 3. 3. So there's 3 feet. 3 feet in this yard. And I can prove that to you by showing you, if you look, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 feet in a yard. Okay. How many inches would be in a yard then? Well, if there's 12 inches in a foot and there's 3 feet in a yard, 12 times 3 would be 36. So there's 36 inches in a yard. All right, then we get to the bigger measurement, the mile. Wow, how many feet would be in a mile? Now, back in my day, I had to memorize this. Our teacher made us memorize this. You don't have to memorize it because you can always figure it out. Okay, but take a guess. Take a guess, how many feet do you think are in a mile? How many of these, how many feet are in 1 whole mile? Okay, parents, you can guess too. Some of you might know. All right. Hopefully you have your guess. Okay. All right. There is 5,280 feet in every mile. 5,280 in every mile. That's quite a few, isn't it? All right. Then we have yards. Now, yards are a little bigger measurement, so there's going to be less of those in a mile. How many of these do you think are in a mile? It's probably going to be less than that because it's a bigger measurement. So, all right, you have your guess? All right, there's 1,760 yards in a mile. Quite a few. Yeah. That's what we're going to be learning about this week. We're going to be learning about different types of measurement. This is measurement. Does anyone know what this is? What kind of measurement is it? It measures length. Yeah, it measures length. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. Anytime you want to measure something and you want to find the length of it, you would use inches, feet, yards, and miles. Okay, this is going to be your homework, and I'll assign it in your in the Canvas assignment. But this is going to be your assignment. What I want you to do is I want you to go around your house and come up with 3 items each. 3 items in each of these. 3 things that are an inch. So I showed you 2. I showed you the coin and the little football figure. They're an inch. Okay, a foot. I showed you a cereal box and I showed you my shoe. Okay, a yard. I don't think I gave you any examples for a yard. But one of them is my leg here is almost a yard. Okay. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but if you look at the door handle, okay, if you look at the door handle, from the door handle to the floor is approximately a yard in most households. So it's almost 3 feet. So that's another example of a yard. Okay, but you're going to come up with 3 examples in your house. 3 examples of an inch, 3 examples of a foot, and 3 examples of a yard. Now, you don't have to do the mile because, you know, you're not supposed to be traveling outside anyway, so I don't want you to find something that's a mile, okay? So just these 3. 3 things that are an inch, 3 things that are a foot, and 3 things that are a yard. All right, and these are customary units of measurement. We're dealing with length today. All right, guys, hope you have a happy Monday. All right, bye. Bye, guys. Bye. Have a good day.